Thank you so much for joining us today to do this interview.
Oh,
And I'll
no,
let
thanks for
John take
having
it away.
We have some questions for you, and we'll see. We got some questions for you. So I'll start up with you were born in Harlem, we know that, and you grew up with blues, gospel, soul, rhythm and blues, and hip hop. But not many people know that later you moved into Teaneck, New Jersey, and when I knew you, you were working at a dry cleaner. So I was just wondering what the difference was between growing up in Harlem and then moving into Teaneck, and what brought the move into that area.
Harlem was getting pretty bad at that time, and my parents wanted to find a safer place for us, mostly my brother, actually, because I was always inside, but my brother was outside. And they were just looking for a safer place for us. That's all.
Because when I met you, you were working at the dry cleaners in Teaneck.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, because I know that was a world removed from what you were growing up in Harlem. Because I remember I saw an interview with you talking about the life in Harlem, but I know that many people didn't realize that you grew up in Teaneck. So,
well, it was like a whole different world from 15 minutes across that bridge.
Yeah, sure.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was real culturally shocking for me at first. I couldn't even sleep for about a month or two living there because it was so quiet and I just wasn't used to that. It was very strange.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And now I can't stand it for it to be too noisy. So
you come full circle.
Exactly.
Well, we know about you. We know that Johnny Copeland, your father, was a huge part of your life. Johnny was a good friend of mine and my wife's. We got to know you and your mom and your father very, very well over the years. But I just want to talk about your relationship with mom, because very, very few people talk about mom. Sandra's always in the background. I was wondering how your relationship is with her and how things were with you growing up. Let's talk about a little bit about your life with her, because I always hear about you and Johnny, and I know about you and your father going out on the road together, and I saw you many times with your dad, open up for your dad.
Mm.
And the night
well, yeah, I mean that's always the case.
Yeah.
He was the blue. Nothing would have ever happened without mom, because my mom, she was the one that was there. She was there taking care of us 100% of the time. And my mom, if she wanted to, could have been a singer, because she's got a great voice, but she never sang, but she really could have been if she wanted to. And so, yeah, my mom was just solid. She was solid. She was there
I remember staying with your mom many, many times next to your mom during the performances in the Poconos, and even you'd stand next to your grandmother, and the look on your mother's face, the emotional impact that you had on her when you put down the microphone, went up to the front of the stage, blew hundreds and hundreds of people away by singing without the mic. And I'm standing next to my mother, and the tears start to flow, and I put my arms around her, and I just remember all those years of that, how much she meant to you and you meant to her. The two of you had this bond, this relationship, and I always remember that. So I was just
exactly. In the first year or two that I was out on the road, my mom would come with me, and she was there, for that part too.
That's great.
Yeah. I was grateful to have that, because so many people get thrown out there, with the sharks.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't have a support system when you get thrown out there with the sharks, anything can happen. But for me, I was always, I had such a great support system. My mom, my brother, my auntie Phyllis, my uncle Pete, all those folks that you knew up there from the Pocono, cousins, I just had a huge support system.
Yeah, they were always there, because I met so many of your family over the years.
Everybody.
Your Uncle Floyd was in the band.
That's right.
Floyd Phillips was in the band. I knew him very well, and I remember when your mother, Big Nancy Swarbrick was close to your mom, and I remember the reunion that they had. I still have pictures of that, and it was always there.
Yep.
Whether it was the Crawfish Festival or the Poconos or wherever you were, far behind. And I know a lot of your relatives too. I mean, it was like a family reunion every time you played in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And now my little guy Johnny, he's about to start kindergarten next week.
Wow.
So
that went fast.
I know it did. It went really fast. So he'll be fine, and I'll be crying. You know how that works.
You know how that works. I've been there and done that. I'm still crying. Alana's going to college in Montclair up the road. I'll be crying when she starts in September. I know. Yeah. That's my next question. You're a mother now. You have Johnny, your son, and you have your husband. I've seen pictures of Johnny at various festivals. How do you balance that between taking it on the road and then you have the family life at home? How does that work? How do you balance all that together and try to make it happen?
I'm really not on the road that much. I try to be more like a weekend warrior type. And here lately that I've had to go out for, like 10 days at a time or something like that, which I've only done twice. And that'll be about it for me. My husband is here and he's great. He's just he's a great dad. So I have that support from him and it works. It works.
Plus you work at Sirius XM, so that's a lot to do.
Yeah, I
Working
do.
and
Yes,
jobs.
serious. I'm doing that. And I was truly grateful to have that during COVID time, especially. I was still making something, which was great. But yeah, so that's how I do it. Just having my family here.
Yeah,
And
I saw pictures of Ronnie Baker Brooks and your son at Christmas was a year or two ago up on Facebook. They were great pictures.
oh yeah,
The Christmas pictures, they were great.
yep, he loves Ronnie.
I know, I saw them. They were cute. They was really cute. I showed Jackie. I said, "Look, you got to see these pictures." Are you influenced by Otis Redding and Sam Cooke, Bruce Brown and Coco Taylor, Dr. John, among many others? I just wondering, how did these artists play in your musical journey through the years? I know Dr. John was your godfather. Is that true?
Yeah, he was instrumental for me helping because he's the one who kind of, my dad always taught originality, always be original. And then Dr. John, he came along and he said to me, he said, do not try to conform to the music business, make the music business conform to you. And that just stuck with me. And that's kind of what I live by. That's what I do. I'm not trying to please the masses. I'm just trying to, put out music that I love and that means something to me, and something that my kid eventually will be proud of.
What about Bruce Brown and Coco Taylor? Was Coco Taylor was your godmother, or is Bruce Brown your godmother? I know that there was
No, neither were
relationship
neither of them were any godparent or anything, but they were both super supportive of me and loving. Ruth Brown, she gave me clothes to wear. When my father died, I didn't have anything, and I remember, I was going to my first Blues Music Awards and she just went into her closet and gave me all kinds of clothes. So the first time I went to the Blues Music Awards, I was wearing her clothes. And Coco Taylor, oh my God, she was a great mentor. She called to check on me all the time, gave me the best advice about how to run my band and everything. So
yeah, I know you and Coco were very tight. I talked to her about that, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the Poco festivals. It's a long story, but I got to meet with her and sit with her for a few minutes, so it was very cool. And she talked about it was there.
Yeah, she was great.
What about Otis Redding and Sam Cooke?
Well, I didn't get to know them, of course, but
No, but I mean their music.
But I definitely was influenced by their music because I just love strong male voices, and I love that, and not just strong, but also just a unique different sound. So when they sing, you know who it is. The second they open their mouth, it's Otis Redding, it's Sam Cooke, it's Obi Wright. That's the way I've always wanted to be. Like when I sing something, it's me.
Oh yeah, that's unmistakable. When you sing, you just know. You could be anywhere and hear that voice. No, it's just that's the way it comes across.
Yeah, that's what you want to be, right? You want to be your own unique sound, your own voice.
Yeah, because there's too many people out there trying to be somebody else.
Exactly.
Everybody wants to be the next big thing, but they all wind up standing on top of each other and trying to climb on top of somebody else. So it's really good when you have people like you and so many others out there trying to make a difference by being unique and different and putting a mark on it themselves. It's really Can you explain what Bluesapalooza is? Are you still doing that, or is that stopped because of COVID? Are you still involved in that?
No, I did it once. It was a tour to Iraq and Kuwait. We were there for a couple weeks performing for our troops. I think they did one other one before that. And it only happened a couple times, but it was really great. That was back in, I think, 2008 or 9 or something like that. And I was really happy to be a part of it because it changed me in the best kind of way. Because I feel like American people have absolutely no idea what goes on there. They have no idea what is happening and the sacrifices that these young men and women make to keep us safe. So I learned a lot.
I saw an interview with you talking about it. It was really interesting. And then there was a few other musicians doing the same thing, talking about their life on the road. That you weren't at the army bases per se, but you're actually in with the troops. You were on something close to the fronts of some of the situations. You were right there with them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were a smaller group, so we were able to go in there in the trenches, and be there with the guys that never get any music or anything like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a USO tour. You were right there on the front lines. lines many times, right close to where the action was, right deep in the trenches with the soldier.
Yeah, exactly.
But there must have been some experience that goes through that. Can't imagine. Does that still go on? Do they still do that, or is that slow?
I haven't heard of them doing it recently. No.
It's a great idea to bring that out there. It's great. I have another question. Do you consider yourself a songwriter or a writer of songs? I saw you do an interview trying to explain that. I thought it'd be interesting if you could explain.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody these days calls themselves a songwriter, because that's what everybody wants to be, do everything. And I think because of that, there's a lot of crappy stuff that we get, because it's a true art being able to write songs. You know what I'm saying? It's not just like, oh, let me just sit here and do this. I don't consider myself a songwriter, but I do, but I have written songs. And sometimes you get a good idea and it comes to you, and that's that. But I wouldn't consider myself a songwriter.
So I got America's Child, Uncivil War, and Done Come Too Far, right? All three. All right, there seems to be a trilogy of social consciousness and historical awareness. I'm just wondering if that was intentional. Did you have so much?
Actually, no, it did. No, I mean, I think what happened was that when I did America's Child, I was very frustrated at that time with the music business in general. And I had my little guy, and I just thought, you know what, at this point, this is what I want to do with my life, put things out here that mean something. And it kind of started with America's Child. And then I felt like that album wasn't really done. And so Civil War was kind of a continuation, which was like, man. And then that album was done at the end of 2019. So before everything went crazy in 2020, that record was already finished. And so then after 2020 came in, holy crap.
Oh yeah.
There was so much more to say and put out there. So it ended up being a trilogy because of it, because of the times.
Yeah, because all three of them flow, they all flow together. And I figured you had so much to say. And I know there was so much going on in the world at the times that they were all recorded that you just carried it over into three different albums.
Exactly. And that's kind of what happened. I don't think that, it was almost like it was just a natural thing to happen because of the state of the world that we're living in. That's all.
Because if each one of them is more amazing than the next one, and the new one's just incredible.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On Don't Come Too Far, you like to have fun with songs like Fried Catfish and Blue and Bibles, Fell in Love with a Honky, which I think is hysterical, and a loving tribute to your dad, Nobody But You. My question is, how do you make the decision to pick and choose the social commentary songs from the less serious, fun, high-spirited songs? How do you make the decision which songs to put together? How does it come together? How do you make the decision of how do you balance it out?
I feel like there should be always a good balance. I like a roller coaster. Everything should be mixed in there. So I do that. I just, and that's another thing that happens naturally for us. We're like, okay, now we need to, lighten it up, or let's do this because this will be funny, or, and I'm so glad you think Fell in Love with a Honky. It's funny because that's exactly the reaction that we wanted to get from people,
It's really good.
For it to be funny.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how you balanced it. Like when you go into the studio, you have all these songs. So how do you pick which ones to put out and which ones to save? And
we're making blues records, so we don't have the kind of money where we go in the studio and go, okay, we're gonna make this many songs and then we're gonna scrap them. We already go in there knowing what we're gonna do. So we gotta have a pretty good idea of it before we go in. But what I do is I go in and I do a few songs at a time, and then think about, okay, what does it need now? And then kind of split it up that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the balance is great. I mean, you've got your social consciousness songs, your historical background songs, but then you've also got the fun songs. So every side of you is highlighted by each recording. So it's great. It's a nice balance, and it shows you. It's all about you. Because I've known you a long time, and that's each recording is you. And that's the way I know Shemekia Copeland. That's you. So I know your serious side, and I know your fun side because I've seen it. So it's a nice balance between all of it.
Thank you.
I got a question about Arthur. I've known you and Art a long time. Arthur's a friend of mine, and I've known Art a long time. And I know Arthur has a lot of different bands that he goes on the road with. He sends me emails playing here and there. But whenever you're ready to go on the road, Arthur drops everything and he's with you. He's like your right hand. So I just wonder what the relationship is with you and Arthur, and what Arthur brings to your music, because I know it's quite a lot.
Oh my God, it's been 24 years. I can't believe that. We are.
I know. We talk, when I see Art, we talk about you all the time.
Yeah, it's been 24 years. It's just like he's just my person. I don't even know how to explain it. He just always has been my person. So, and I thank God for it, because I wouldn't have been able to get through the last 24 years without him.
Yeah, because I know the two of you are like left and right. Every time I see you
Mm,
perform, there's a bond on that stage. You can see it, see the connection at the two of you working. I watched one video the other day, and you look over at Art, and Art starts playing his guitar thing, and like the two of you just click. And I know it's been like that over 20 years. It's just
yeah,
whenever you're ready to go, he's ready to go. He's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He doesn't get to ever retire. That's never happened.
No, because he's always playing somewhere, and then when
Hmm.
Shemekia wants to go on, there he goes. He's ready to go. And he drops. I know he drops everything to go. That's great. Well, now you're back in Alligator, and you started in Alligator in 1998 at the age of 18. And you have a lot of longtime friends like Donya Oxford, Arthur Nielsen, Ronnie Baker Brooks, John Hahn's been your manager forever, right?
Hmm.
I remember when you used to play with your father's band, Randy and Bobby, Floyd. How important is loyalty and family to you, as because you had some of these people have been around you for decades, so it must be extremely important to have that friendship background, that family background, that core group of people with, because you've always
Oh
had
yeah.
John Hahn's been your manager forever,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
Arthur's
I've
been
known
a
him.
guitarist for 20 years.
Yeah, I've known him since I was 8, John. It's just, we're a family. What I believe in, what's meant to be is what's meant to be. And, all of us are meant to be together.
Because it was like, you toured with your dad's band for a long time. That's how I got to know Bobby Kyle, and I got to know Randy.
Hmm.
I got to know all those people through that group, but there was a tight, still are.
Hmm.
And then John Hahn, I got to know John through you and your dad. And, it's like you've been together for a long, long time. Now you're back at Alex.
Yeah, and Alligator. Yeah, I mean, I was off about 2 albums, which is
Yep.
really cool for me, because I was able to kind of find myself in a different way. And once again, Alligator is also family, so it was natural for me to do more with them.
Yeah, that's one of the unique things about Alligator. The record company with Bruce and Mark and all the people that work there. It's a lot of those people have been on a label forever, like like Blues Imperial and Little Ed, and so many people have come through that label. And it seems like it is like a family. People stay there, and even if they come and they go, they still come back, and you've come back.
Hmm.
One of the longest running blues labels there is, isn't it?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
It's been through ups and downs, back and forth. It's good to have you back. Well, Done Come Too Far showcases your fearlessness, your honesty, your sense of humor, and your passion. What would you like to say to your fans around the world about the amazing release?
Well, I'm very excited about the record. Can't wait for people to hear it. Some of my favorite things is to wait and hear people's interpretation about the album, and what they think and what they feel. So it's nice.
Because the reviews have been really, really good. And that's everything I've read is up positive. They're excited. It's great to have you back. It's all good. I want to know like what you thought of it. How long did it take you to put it together?
Probably, a few months, I would say, working on it. Yeah, a few
That's
months.
amazing.
So now with the state of the music industry as it is, there's no rush to put out music like it was years ago. The people don't have to put albums out. They're putting it out whenever they can. And a lot of people are putting them out now because of COVID. They're trying to get the music out that they couldn't get out because of the COVID shut. But how does the music industry now, the way it is, affect you? I mean, you have Sirius, you have that outlet, but there are no really big record companies or record people back. Alligator. But besides that, the record company, the record industry has changed, right? It's different. There's more internet than there was. There's more outlets. It seems like there's more outlets on a different level.
Yeah, some of the changes are good. Some of the changes are not so good. I'm old school. I still wish I could go to the record store and buy my vinyl records and smell them and open them.
I know.
I'm happy vinyl's coming back.
I love
But
vinyl.
yeah, but the social media stuff and all that, it just, I don't know. I'm so over it all. I'm just like, just let me do whatever I need to do so that I can perform in music, which is what I really love to do. I've never liked the music business. The music business sucks, but I love being on stage and I love performing for the people. And that's what I want to be able to continue to do. So I do what I need to do so that I do that. which is the most important part.
Yeah, we know how much you love to be on stage. See it every time you perform. That's your home. That's where you're at. You could see it up there. You give it 100,000% when you're up. And I've seen it. It's amazing when you go up there. Light switch goes on. You're in the zone, and people there with you. Just have a connection. You always have. You go out there
Yeah.
you go out and sing Ghetto Child out there, and there's people out there singing along with you, and there's an instant connection. When Shemekia Copeland goes out on that stage, I've seen it. There's just hundreds of people all of a sudden connection that's just lit, and they're right there with you for the 2 hours or 2.5 hours or whatever you're out there on that stage. They're with you every moment. Every time you're out there, they're just mesmerizing. I know, because I was in other places in the Poconos, and I was doing something, and I got told to come and see you because Shemeka's on. You got to hurry up, because I was doing something with other people, and I had to run to the stage and make sure I got. So I know. I got told, you better hurry up. She's on stage, and I got told. Even Michael Claren told me that one time. What are you doing? She's on stage. You got to get up there. I know. Yep. Christy, you want to say anything?
No, John, you did a great job on preparing for this interview. I want to thank you. And Shemekia, I want to thank you as well for your time.
Oh, no, thanks for having me. It was so great talking to you both.
No.
I don't know